Hello, this is Srinivasan, and in this series of sessions we are going to take a look at HTML5 and its features in comparison with HTML 4.0.1 and its previous releases. As part of HTML5, the major components that was added to the language were the semantic elements. Semantic elements are elements with a meaning. In any language, semantics is the study of the meanings of the words and phrases in language. A semantic element clearly describes its meaning to both the browser and the developer. In HTML 4.0.1 and earlier releases, the non-semantic elements were div and span, whereas the semantic elements were form, table, and image tags. So now let us take a look at what all semantic elements were introduced as part of HTML5. So let us exemplify the same with the diagram. Assuming that we need a page that is very similar to this, wherein the top panel forms the header, followed by the navigational links for the application, which contains any of the links, any of the major links for the application, and then it contains multiple sections and ended by a footer element that gives authorship information or the company that the website is belonging to, those kind of information. And in the middle of the application or the web page, we have multiple sections organized and multiple articles available in the system. Assuming that this is the structure that we need, and with the non-semantic elements that were available in HTML 4.0.1 and earlier, we will use the div or the span tags, organize it, apply styles to the same, but what we are doing is unaware to the developers or the browser itself until the styles are applied. That is, the div element itself doesn't speak as to what content in the document it is representing. So to avoid the same and give a meaningful information to the author or the developer and the browser, we have multiple semantic elements introduced as part of HTML5. So they start from header element that points to the or which gives information about the application. Then there is a nav semantic element that contains the major navigational links of the application. In the middle of the page, we have multiple occurrences of section and article elements. Which gives the major part of the information what for this page is intended for. And there is another semantic element which is very useful to give online running news about the application, about the product, and then we close out the page with a footer tag. So these are some of the semantic elements that are offered as part of HTML5. Now let us take a look at these components in the page, in the code. Try to use them and understand how it works. Any of the HTML documents start with a doc type declaration. This is not an HTML tag, it is an instruction to the web browser about the version of the HTML the page is written in. In HTML 4.01, the doc type declaration refers to a DTD because HTML 4.01 was based on SGML. Any DTD specifies the rules for the markup language so that the browsers render the content correctly. But HTML5 is not any more SGML based and therefore does not require a reference to a DTD. Hence, this is the simplest version or the simplest form of declaring the doc type in HTML5. And as previously discussed, one of the semantic element is the header element. So this gives the top level information about the page or about the company holding this page. The header element represents a container for the introductory content or a set of navigational links. It can contain multiple elements ranging from H1 to H6. It can either contain the authorship information, the logo, or the icon. Followed by the header semantic element is the nav semantic element, introduced as part of HTML5. So the nav semantic element is the major element that defines the set of navigational links. It defines the major block of the navigational links for the application. So in our case, we will be using the ULLI elements to list out this set of navigational links available in the system. And then we end it with a closing nav tag. Followed followed by the nav tag is the section tags, which can contain multiple sections or articles within it, which can contain multiple headers, which can contain footers. The section tag defines multiple sections in a document, such as chapters, headers, footers, or any other. It can contain multiple sections of the document. The header tag, again containing the top level information about this section. The section tag can contain the article semantic element within it. The article itself is an independent self-contained content. An article should make sense on its own, and it should be possible to distribute it independently from the rest of the site. The major potential sources of the article element are the forum posts, blog posts, news story, or any comments that it can contain. These forms the major sources of the article element. The article is followed by the footer semantic element, and footer semantic element defines the footer for any of the document. It can define a footer for the section. It can define a footer at the page level, at the section level, at the document level. It contains information about its containing element. So typical contents of it is authorship information, copyright information, contact information, or any of the site maps, that is to the website, or any of the related information, set of information that it can contain. So this, in our case, will give a brief information about this section, and the followed by this section semantic information is the aside tag, which is a very good semantic element, which contains the content aside from the content it is placed in, but it should be related to the surrounding content, similar to what we had discussed earlier. So this can contain the running news or the current affairs in a running manner. Finally, we close out the document with the footer element again. The footer element can be used both for the section or for the document. There can be one footer that is completely used for the page level also. So this way we can organize the document instead of depending on the non-semantic elements, which is div or span tags. When we run this particular HTML file in the browser, the document that you will see will still not be organized. The reason is for the next particular session, we will be taking a look at how to apply styles for these semantic elements to achieve the design and the layout that we intended to. Thanks.